before start my speech, we show thanks word. Firstly, committee, thank you, nice management. Secondly, judges, thank you to your reflection and voting us. We are here. Thirdly, with members, Threat of West Numa-san, Ryo, Erika, Tomoko, Maino, and my great partner Gak. I cannot stand here. Today we start to talk legitimacy. Before I argue this issue, let me introduce myself. Some of participants may think I am OB, but my existence is legal because my season count is just one. Moreover, OB or no is not crucial for debate match. Only preparation and passion for winning decide the winner. So I start with. By the way, opponent Uncho, I am very glad with you in this final round. Thank you. I really start with. Sorry, I show my logo. Firstly, a bounty observation. Contention 1, contention 2, plan, contention 3, and view. Sorry, in this order. May I start? Affirmative observation. 8th point. The Constitution of Japan. 1. Article 9 of Japanese Constitution prohibits the threat and use of force under paragraph 1 and the possession of any war potential under paragraph 2. 日本国憲法17 available quote. Article 9 Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign of nation and threat the use of force as means of settling international disputes in order to accomplish aim of preceding paragraphs, land, sea, and air forces as well as other war potential will never be attained. Unquote. This point. Constitutionalism. 1. Japan is based on constitutionalism. Hence, the Constitution is supreme standard of the country. However, now the government easily changes its interpretation by the judgment of the cabinet. Huffington Post 15, quote, needless to say, Constitution, supreme law and root of country, it shouldn't be changed by judgment of government, even though changing situation occurs. Although civilian control is established enough, there should be many nations feeling uneasiness for changing constitutional interpretation by discretion of one cabinet and greatly extending power of cabinet. Unquote. 6th point. International Constitution. 1. Under international law, Japan has the right to individual self-defense. UN Charter 17 available. Nothing in the present charter shall impair the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs against a member of the United Nations until the Security Council has taken measures necessary to maintain international peace and security. Unquote. This point. Self-defense force. 1. Under status quo, self-defense force, so-called SDF, work for keeping daily peace and security in Japan. For example, invasion, anti-terrorism, and disaster. Ministry of Defense 17 available. Quote, SDF is primarily responsible for defense and has systems to prepare for invasion in cases where activities such as suspicious ships and armed agents and terrorism for situations that have important influence on peace and security in Japan and large-scale disasters, they maintain and improve immediate response system. Unquote. Moreover, too, the offensive capability of SDF will expand in future. That's because technology has advanced and nature of conflict is changing. For example, under status quo, Japan is considering strike-first policy to preemptively attack. Sputnik International 17, in wake of intercontinental ballistic missile testing by Democratic People's Republic of Korea, legislators are calling to adopt new military posture against its nuclear-capable neighbor. Japan has long stated a stance of self-defense regarding the switch in posture from self-defense to considering the adoption of a strike-first policy. Unquote. East point. Perception of other country. 1. Even Article 9 exists. Already, other countries changed perception for Japan because Japanese stance changed to offensive. As a result, they feel fear. 日本経済新聞 14, quote, while Abe administration decided to approve collective self-defense by U.S. Express Welcome, Chinese Foreign Minister's Director General Hu Liu said, we cannot forbid a suspicion that Japan will change way of peaceful development. Korea's ruling, Mr. Senuri spokesman expressed, is concerned that Japan's move will heighten military tension in Northeast Asia. Unquote. Then contention 1. Under status quo, SDF is necessary for national defense. Cross-supply observation 6th point. However, 2. In Article 9, having war potential and the use of such force is prohibited. Cross-supply observation 8th point. However, 3. The Japanese government justify individual self-defense under the Article 13 of the Japanese Constitution. Ministry of Defense 17 available. Quote, when considering Article 13 of the Constitution, right to life, Article 9 cannot possibly be interpreted to prohibit Japan from taking measures of self-defense necessary to maintain its peace and security and to ensure its survival. Hence, use of force to the minimum extent necessary is permitted. This is the basic logic of the government. Unquote. However, 4. The Constitution only permits the right to self-defense, never permit the SDF. Therefore, range of self-defense is limited to diplomacy, policemen, etc. Researcher Yamada 6. Quote, the common theory in the study of constitutional law is that our country does not renounce self-defense right, but that self-defense right should be self-defense right without force or potential. Therefore, use of self-defense right is 1. Prevention by diplomatic negotiations. 2. Elimination by the police. 3. License revoked by the people using weapons to countervail unquote. Therefore, 5. First inherency is the existence of SDF is unconstitutional because it is regarded as war potential. Moreover, 6. Second inherency is action by SDF also violates Constitution because even if right to self-defense is permitted, use of force is not permitted. Moreover, 7. The threat of force by SDF is also unconstitutional. Shinban Cut 17, both Japanese government and US government went into consideration to carry joint exercise. Tomomi other defense minister explained it is impossible that this will fit into threat of force prohibited under the constitution. However, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe declared that joint exercise is a high-level warning and surveillance system that expanding to the Sea of Japan increases tension furthermore, strengthening military threat prohibited by Article 9 of the Constitution unquote. Moreover, 8. Third inherency is such discussion of SDF is constitutional or not is waste of time. That's because consensus is SDF is necessary for Japan and it rather cause confusion. Then contention 2. 1. Violation of constitutionalism should be avoided because it is the nation's supreme standard. Therefore, government action must be consistent with the Constitution. Otherwise, Constitution becomes meaningless document. 日本弁護士連合会5 Constitutionalism of the basis of the Japanese Constitution inherited and developed an idea of modern constitutionalism and is a principle centered on the rule of law and supports national sovereignty, respect for basic human rights and perfect pacifism. The rule of law rejects domination by arbitrarization and by restricting power by the law. Its purpose is to protect basic human rights unquote. Therefore, 2. Reinterpretation is not desirable as national policy. That's because it is easy to change stance depending on the cabinet of that time. Pro-supply observation B point. Moreover, 3. Reinterpretation may confusion whether it is constitutional or not. Actually, there is no absolute answer. Huffington Post 15, originally stipulated in Article 9, government at the time constitutional establishment claim, even if there is right of self-defense, I could not exercise it. However, every time security environment surrounding Japan changes, Japanese government has altered interpretation, saying that there is no army in our country, but changing extent to which SDF can operate unquote. Then I shall plan. 1. Japan should amend the constitution so as to permit the threat and use of force. Mandate 1. Shall amend paragraph 1 to permit threat and use of force. 2. Shall amend paragraph 2 to permit the existence of SDF. 3. Shall regulate the SDF under self-defense forces law. 4. Necessary adjustment. Then contention 3. 1. Pro-supply plan mandate 2nd. We declare directly SDF is legal organization. Therefore 2. First inherency is solved because we permit the existence of SDF. 3. Second inherency is solved because threat and use of force by SDF is permitted. 4. Third inherency is solved because Article 9 becomes more simple. It avoids confusion to make interpretation. 5. I show example of vague text and clear text. Everyone cannot smoke in this area except you. You can smoke. Latter one is less confusing. Moreover, 6. Pro-supply mandate 3rd. We regulate clearly what SDF can do and what they cannot do. This limitation makes trust from Asian nation and stop arms race. Sankei Shibu 96. Next in case it might be possible by interpretation we can possess nuclear weapons to establish construction for self-defense. Theory of protecting constitution is broken. If you want to sweep our concerns from Asian countries, it is definitely loyal role of pacifists, but to confidently change stance into amending constitution and clearly spell out limitation system unquote. Then underview. 8th point. Preemption for all negative issue. 1. Affirmative stance is keeping status quo and after plan. There is no difference in Japan's action to militarize. That's because we only permit the threat and use of force under the Constitution. Therefore, judges, please carefully check negative linkage if it comes from only just changing the text of the Constitution. That's all.
Cross-examination time by the negative.
Yes.
So contention 1,
Yes.
maybe you show many equivalency explain that instead of self-defense force is not constitutional or something.
Yes.
So maybe first inquiry is the existence of SDF is completely unconstitutional or something.
Yes.
Maybe this violates paragraph 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, then what is second inquiry?
Second inherency is action and the threat of SDF is illegal.
Action and threat of, which sentence in status quo, the SDF can do such thing.
Which sentence in status quo?
Yes.
Please repeat your question.
Which sentence in status quo, SDF can actually do threat and use of force in status quo.
which sentence say in
Yes.
status quo
Yes.
action can be done?
Yes.
まあ、何の sentence say?
Then
Because
what is inference if in status quo initially SDF cannot do anything
then we say this is against the constitution, right?
against the constitution?
What actually we do? Okay. Then at the time, look at the seventh card.
Mm.
The threat of force by SDF is also unconstitutional. And actually, under status quo, SDF do the threat.
In status SDF do the threat.
Yes.
Sorry, please explain.
About what is the threat or something.
Yes, in status what did the SDF do in status quo?
Okay. I read the evidence.
Sorry, which
Seventh card.
seventh card, okay.
The Prime Minister Shinzo Abe declared that the joint exercise between the Self-Defense Force and the U.S. Carrier Strike Group is a high-level warning and surveillance system that expanding to the Sea of Japan increases the opposition of military affairs against military affairs and tension furthermore, strengthening the military threat prohibited by Article 9 of the Constitution.
Okay, thank you. Then maybe why in status quo the threat and use of force is that comes from their contention on seventh card. Then this violates maybe paragraph 1. Right?
Yes.
Okay, please keep in mind. Then I want to know what is third inference.
Third inherency is that it is waste of time for the government to actually justify that it is constitutional or not.
Then why this violates constitutionalism simply?
This is just additional inherency.
Okay, please keep it, okay. Then your first inference is initially the existence of SDF itself is complete. It's unconstitutional something.
Yes.
Then this violates paragraph 2.
Yes.
Okay, then second inference is actually in status quo to some extent SDF do threat or something. Then this violates paragraph 1.
Yes, threat under action.
Okay. Then third one is this waste of time or something.
Yes.
Okay, please keep in mind. Then as for contention 2,
Yes.
then in such I want to confirm your impact. Your
Yes.
impact about the constitutionalism is based on such Japan is based on the principle of constitution or something.
Yes.
Then what is the actual impact of this law? What do you got in status quo?
Our argument says that such a function of the constitution has to bind the government action. However, in the status quo, such the government action is not binded by the constitution. This itself is the impact.
Itself is impact.
Yes.
Okay, please keep it. Then what is the impact of such wasteful time?
That is that we cannot do the smooth action. For example, look at the observation discipline. Actually, the situation is changing and changing, right?
Yes.
The institution, for example, Japan has to get the offensive capability or something. Maybe in the future situation.
Yes.
Then in situation, we have to justify every time such the situation change.
You
Then in
mean-
situation,
Okay, you mean in status quo we have to discuss about it is or meet or not every time or something?
yes, meet the constitution or not every time.
Okay, I understand. Then as for contention 3,
Yes.
sorry, under you. Affirmative stance is you just make the SDF legalized.
Yes.
I do not change anything in status quo without the plan.
Yes.
Our action itself.
About action itself, the same as keeping status quo.
Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you, that's all.
Preparation time for the negative.